Assalamu alaikum. Myself Ahkam Ansari. Student, I am back again with yet another video lecture of advanced web designing. In this particular video lecture, I will be talking about some new feature and application of CSS. In our previous lectures, we have seen how CSS can change our look and feel of our website and how it changed to the old HTML to new HTML page. Means CSS is a tool which is used to design our web page or which is used to turn our web page in a very attractive manner. So let's have a look what we are going to learn today or how we will apply this property on CSS. So our target for today's lecture is, let's have a look. So I will start my PowerPoint presentation in which I have already declared what we are going to learn in today's lecture. So what is our topic of discussion is, our chapter name is CSS properties. Our chapter name is advanced web designing and our topic is CSS property, and what we are going to learn in this lecture, that is letter spacing and padding. Okay, these are the two properties of CSS which we are going to learn in today's lectures. Before moving forward, I just want to tell you little thing about these two properties. That is, the first property, letter spacing, means as its meaning or its name is clearly shows us that we are going to assign or we are going to place some space between letters. Okay, see, it's clear showing that letter spacing. What is mean by space? Space means we are going to add some blank spaces. Okay, we are going to add some blank spaces. Where we are going to add some blank spaces? Between the letters. Okay, between the letters. And what are the letters? Letters are nothing but the set or the sum of some characters or sum of some words. Okay, so if you want to assign, for example, if you notice in this paragraph or in this title subject, there is no space between S and U, and again there is no space, it's a single word. But if you want to assign spaces between these words, these characters, you can use letter spacing. Okay, in the same way, I will show you live, I will show you by using its application, or I will show you in CSS how these properties apply on our HTML page. So don't worry, just for time being, just try to understand this property of CSS is used to add some space between the text or between the letters. These are the letters, these are the alphabet, these are the words. If you want to add some space, you have to use letter spacing property. Simple. Now move towards padding. What is padding? Letter spacing and padding both are little similar, you can say, because letter spacing adds some blank space to its word or to its character or to its letter, but padding property of CSS is used to add blank space before and after, left and right to its element. For example, I am using H1 and I have used padding property to that H1, so it will assign some blank space before H1 and after H1 and left hand side of the H1 and right hand side of the H1. It will not add space or blank space between the character, it will add above, below, left and right. Okay, for example, first heading we have letter spacing, second heading we have, for example, this is the second heading. So if you use padding, it will assign some space between this line and this line, not between the character or letters. So both the property I will show you live, I will explain each and everything, but for time being, just try to understand this is the one of the easiest property of the CSS, and it is very useful because sometimes you need to change the look and feel of your web page. In that case, you have to use these properties. Okay, let's have a look on what is the definition, what does it mean. I think I have told each and everything, but just see Letter spacing, what is the letter spacing? And again, these are the not bookish definition or any definition what I have told you in my previous slide. I have just written this. If you want to write this thing, you can write. It is very easy and it is in your own word. I have written in my own word, so you can write in your own word. So letter spacing, as I tell you, letter spacing property of CSS is used to just see the highlighted word, increase or decrease the horizontal space. Why I am writing horizontal? Because on a page you can assign two ways. Okay, means this is the horizontal line, these are the rows. Rows means the horizontal line. Okay, for example, if you see in animation a line continuously moving, that is line is moving toward horizontally. Okay, this line moving horizontally and this line shows vertically. Okay, so this property, this is a letter spacing property, is used to increase or decrease spaces horizontally. Okay, horizontally means even you can increase and even you can decrease, because we have some normal space. See, there is a normal space between D and E is separated, C and R is separated, but very minor space you can decrease to very low. Okay, or you can increase by using some values. For example, how you will use value? So there is an example P, that is a paragraph tag. In that paragraph tag I will be using letter spacing. So letter spacing is a property, you have to use letter spacing, then you have to assign some value. So what is a 10? 10 means 10 is a value and px is a pixel. So you can see, student, please pay attention. Here instead of px, okay, instead of px, that is a pixel, you can write in, that is a inch. You can write mm, that is a millimeter. You can write cm, that is a centimeter, or even you can write some percentage also, that is pt. So the unit of measure can be any, or we have different valid unit. Okay, so the best way or one of the ideal way to assign values, so you have to write in the form of pixel, means you have to use px. You can, in letter spacing, you can add 10 px, you can add any value. This is the value, this value will change, but the only thing is that px, that is a pixel, you can write px, or sometimes you can write mm, that is millimeter, you can write in, that is a inch, you can write cm, that is a centimeter, or sometimes you can write pt, that is a percentage. Okay, so these units are allowed in letter spacing property, but the best idea is to use px. Getting? So this value or this property will assign some 10 pixel space between each letter, because I am using letter spacing. So the 10 pixel value or 10 pixel space will be assigned between each letters. Okay, so I will show you live, don't worry. Then come to padding. What is the padding? Padding and spacing, or sometimes padding is also called as a blank space, but not between the letters, not between the letter, but padding property of CSS is used to give blank spaces before the text, after the text, and left margin means left side of the text and right side of the text. Not I am saying text, means left and right of an element. Okay, the element can be any. P is an element, the element can be h1, h2, or any HTML element. Means, see the definition, padding basically means blank space, means you are going to assign blank space. Where we are going to assign means before that particular HTML tag or element, after that particular HTML tag or element, and left side of that element and right side of that element. Again, the value can be in pixel. You can assign value in pixel, means the paragraph tag, then padding, then 20 px, means this paragraph have a space 20 pixel before that p and after that p, and left hand side and right hand side. I think it is very clear. Letter spacing, it will add or it will assign some space between the character, and padding property of CSS is used to add blank space before that element, after that element, and left and right. On both the side it will add some blank spaces. You will notice how it will assign and what is the effect of this property. So now I just want to show you live how this property will work and how it will change the look and feel of our website. So I am moving towards my application for writing program or code. Which application I will use? I have used in number of the time, or most of the time I use, that is a notepad. So I will simply move to my desktop and I will type notepad. So I will take notepad application, then I will write HTML5 code. So the first thing is that I will write doc type. What is a doc type? That is a HTML. After that I will add HTML tag, that is the first tag of the HTML, and closing HTML, that is the last tag of the HTML page. On head, that is will be head tag. Okay. After that we have to have closing head tag. Then I will add body tag, that is the main tag of our HTML page, where all other tag will add or will consist. Okay, so I will close the body tag. So whatever you write inside the body tag, it will display on your browser. This is the body of your browser or your page. Now I am going to add a simple h1 tag. Okay, that is the first heading of HTML and closing h1. In this h1 tag I will add a heading, that is a use of. I am going to write use of letter spacing. Okay, use of letter spacing. Now I just want to save the file. Okay, so when you click on save the first time, it will ask where you are going to save. So this is my whole computer directories. I can save anywhere. Okay, this is my whole directory, but I am going to save on desktop. So similarly I will just type desktop, so it will show all the folders on desktop. So I am not going to add in any folder, I am directly going to add in desktop, and I have to assign some name to that particular page. So I am just writing letter spacing. You can write any name, letter spacing .html. Okay, so the letter spacing is the name of file, and what is it? .html is the extension, because I am writing code inside the HTML, so my extension will be .html, or sometimes it's work as a .html. So it's up to you whether you can write .html or .html. There is no difference between HTML and HTML while you are going to add extension. Okay, so I have written letter spacing .html. HTML I have written. I will just click on save. Now this file have been created on my desktop. So this is my file. So when I click on that, this file will load on browser. Okay, so it is asking in which browser you want to open, because we have n number of the browser. So I will say please open in Google Chrome. Okay, I have clicked to open. Now it's opening. I just want to show you why it's not opening, what is the reason. Okay, it takes some time, or okay, it's open to file. Use of letter spacing means this is the page what I have written till now. Nothing, just a simple HTML page, and I have written one h1 tag. In that I have written use of letter spacing. Okay, so I just want to add the body color, that is a BG color. BG color equal to, it's not of use, but most of the time I use black and white, so I think it looks very dry. So I just want to change the color of the background. So I am going to take which color? For example, green color. It look nice. Okay, so I will click on save and flip back to my browser. This is my browser, and I will just refresh the page. So now it's showing as a use of letter spacing. Okay, it's a green color, my background. So yet now I have not used any CSS property or anything related to CSS. Now I am going to add the CSS. How I will add CSS? Simply I will just move on to my head section, which is my head section. The opening and closing head section is a section of my HTML page which indicate that this section is a header section. So I will add one simple HTML tag, that is a style tag and closing style tag. Okay, this tag indicates that I am using CSS. Means if you want to use CSS, you have to use style tag. Again, I am telling it's not only the way you are going to add CSS. There is a 3 ways to add CSS. You can use internal, inline or external. But in my all the tutorials or all the lecture, I am using internal CSS. So if you are going to use internal CSS, you have to use style tag, and where you have to put inside the head tag. Okay, so now I want to use a paragraph tag to give some spaces, that is to assign letter spacing. So just I will take one p tag and closing p tag. Okay, so in that I will add some paragraph. So instead of writing and wasting the time, I will just move on to any website. So instead of searching any website, I just want to use KMS English Medium High School official website, that is. So this file will open. I just want to copy the content, this content. See my browser, welcome to our KMS college, whatever is written. I just want to copy this content. This is the whole paragraph. I will just Control C and flip back to my notepad, and I will just write and I will just paste it. Means I have copied the content from a website and I am going to paste that content in my paragraph tag. So I will just click on Control V, means the paste, I will paste the content. Then I will click on the save the file. Flip back to your browser. This is your browser. Okay, right now it's showing the previous thing, means we have to refresh the file. So I will click on this. This is, you can click on this arrow or you can simply click F5. That is a hotkey to run any Microsoft program. Okay, so I will just click on this. Now see, you will notice the paragraph has been displayed on your website. This is the paragraph which I have just copied from a website, that is the KMS English Medium High School and Junior College. I have copied this content from this website and I have pasted to my paragraph tag or in my web page. Right now it's look like the same. Okay, there is no difference. The space between the character or letter is similar to my original website. Now I am going to add the content, the letter spacing property. So I will simply move to my notepad and I will add one CSS. So I will add p tag and I will add this bracket. This is the style, this is the rule how style can be added, how CSS can be added to your element. So I am going to add CSS on p tag, that is the p element. So I have written p. Okay, again there is a n number of the ways to add CSS. You can directly write a paragraph tag or you can use ID class or n number of the thing we can use, but I am just going to add simply p tag. So I have written p, and inside that opening and closing curly bracket I will add some properties. Which properties I am talking about? That is the letter spacing. So I will simply write letter spacing. And what is the value? This is the property, letter spacing. What is the letter spacing? Letter spacing is a property and you have to assign some values. So I will simply add any value. For example, if I write 10, and in which I will write in pixel, and at the end of the property I have to write semicolon. Should again I am repeating, this is the way you are going to apply CSS on your HTML page. The first thing is that the P is your element in which you are going to apply the CSS, and then you have to write opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. It doesn't matter you write any space between these, you can write in this format also. You have noticed that in some website shows like this, opening curly bracket then one blank space, or you can write in any way. So don't worry, it is the same. Okay, you can write in this manner, this format, or you can write in a single line too. So there is no change in your output. Okay, so you can add one more property or any property after that. The thing is that first you have to write property, this is your property, then you have to write the colon. Okay, this is the colon, then you have to assign the values of that particular property, and at the end of each property you have to write the semicolon. This is the semicolon. Okay, so this is the way you can apply your CSS, or this is the rule you can apply your CSS. Okay, now I am going to save the file. When you make any changes in your web page or in your notepad file, you have to click on save the file, then only you can see the change. Okay, so I have added letter spacing property to paragraph tag. And what is paragraph tag? In paragraph tag, that is a p tag, I have written the content. Currently this content shows original value. Okay, but when you refresh the page, I just want to show you output. Currently it's working same as your previous website or your original website. See the spaces between these characters or this word and in your website. Now when you click on refresh button, you will see the gap, you will see the space between these letters. I'm talking about space between letter, not between two HTML elements. So the use of the letter spacing, this is the H1, this is the HTML element, and again this is the another HTML element, this is the p tag. So there is no difference between this space, okay, between this HTML element and this HTML. I am not talking about space between element, I am talking about space between the letters, between the characters. So when I refresh, you will notice that the space has been changed, or it will increase, because I have written letter spacing 10px, and 10 is a positive value. Okay, 10 is a positive value. So I will back to my browser and I will refresh. See the space. If you are unable to see, I just want to zoom the file. See the space between TH and HE, then again there is a space, then KO. So there is a space, 10 pixel space between each character. 10, you will notice that there is a 10 pixel, there is a 10 pixel between each character, but somewhere you will notice there is a 20 pixel. For example, between this is the E, sorry, this is, please pay attention on my cursor, this is the E and K. So between E and K there is more than 10, okay, because there is a space. So it's a by default space. One space is also equal to one character. Okay, one space is also equal to one character. That's why there is a 20 pixel space between E and K, because one space you have already given in your paragraph. Again you will notice between N and M there is a 20 pixel, M and E there is a 20 pixel. Getting, student? Means letter spacing property is used to add spaces horizontally. See, the spaces is horizontally, not vertically. Okay, not vertically. If I change, for example, instead of 10, if I write 50, I have written 50. I just want to save the content. Flip back to your browser, just refresh. Now see, the space between these two line or these two paragraphs will same, only the space between these two letters or characters will change. Just refresh. See, the space between means the vertical space is same, only horizontal space has been changed. Now this see the change. Now you have written positive value, so it's showing increased value. See the slide. I just want to show you a slide. Means letter spacing property is used to increase or decrease the horizontal space. Horizontal means row wise, means in a row you can change the space between the letters or characters. Okay, so you can increase or decrease. So if you write positive value, it will increase. If you write negative value, it will decrease. I just want to show you negative value. Okay, instead of 50, now I am going to add -5. Okay, just add one sign, that is a minus sign. -5 I have written. Flip back to your browser, just refresh the file. See now how the text or letter has been merged in each other. Okay, why? Because of letter spacing I have given, that is -5. I just want to increase the size, increase the space. Instead of 5, I am going to add -2. Okay, I have saved the file. Flip back to your browser. See, again it's changed. See the space between KON, KAN. Again there is a less space, or the space has been decreased by using letter spacing property. And why decrease? Because I have used minus or negative symbol. So I think you got clear picture what is the letter spacing and how it change the look and feel of your website. Okay student, I hope you got the clear idea. If I just want to add one more thing. Should I do this padding in this lecture, or should I move for the next lecture? Okay student, I just want to stop there, because if I move toward padding, the lecture will be of 1 hour. So let it be. I hope you got the idea what is letter spacing. I will tell you what is padding, or I will use by using on any application, or I will create an HTML page. So I will show you what is padding property of CSS. But time being, just try to understand letter spacing is a property of CSS which is used to increase or decrease the space between the letters or characters, and it increase in horizontal form or in row form. Okay, and one more thing, important thing, the value, that is that you have written 10 pixel. What is a px? That is a pixel. So you can write px, you can write cm, you can write mm. And what is these? These are the units of measure. You can write any valid unit. So what is the valid value? One is a px, that is a pixel. One is a mm, that is a millimeter. One is cm, that is a centimeter. And one is in, that is a inch. Or sometime you can use pt, that is a percentage, or it's called point. But the best idea of being a programmer, you have to use pixel, that is a px. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any query related to this topic or any property which we have learned in our earlier lectures, please feel free to post your comment. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.